Hello, this is Greg. Obviously you know me from Wimbledon School of Guitar. I'm here with my special guest, James Scott. James is a London-based producer and songwriter who will deliver a really special masterclass on lyric writing. So, James.
Hey, good to meet you.
Good to meet you too. So please tell me something about what you do.
Right, well, as you said, I'm a London-based music producer. I also do a lot of songwriting. Not only do I work on my own written material, but a lot of my work involves working with bands in my capacity as a producer to try and improve their songs and solve musical problems. But what I've noticed is that the number one thing that the bands I work with struggle with is lyric writing. And I think there's quite a few different reasons for that, but it's the thing that comes up again and again. And I think it's something that every songwriter needs to look at separately.
Alright, so I mean, let's ask this question. What are the common mistakes people make when they write lyrics?
Right, well there's three probably main errors that songwriters make and bands make when they're writing songs and writing lyrics within those songs that leads to lyrics not being satisfactory. I mean, when we talk about not being satisfactory, either they're sort of cheesy and they sound a bit childish in some way, or they don't really convey what they want to convey, or maybe they don't really fit the music very well, they're difficult to sing, that they're sort of confusing and the audience doesn't really get what's going on. And there's three main reasons that can cause that kind of problem for a songwriter. The first, and I know not everybody does it this way, but I find that people who write the lyrics before they write the music often experience a lot of problems. There's a lot of different reasons for that, and we'll go on to discuss why it's not such a good idea to write the lyrics first during the masterclass that I'll be delivering. But it is a lot easier to fit lyrics to an existing piece of music than it is to write a piece of music around a set of lyrics. Mostly because it's much easier to fiddle with lyrics, to change lyrics. You can break the rules when writing song lyrics much more easily and more often than you can break the songwriting rules of music. The second most common problem, I think, is people who don't pay enough attention to the structure of a song when writing lyrics. Normally it's often what a friend of mine called a series of slogans instead of proper lyrics, that they write chorus lyrics as like big bold expressions and statements of what the song is about for the whole song from beginning to end. So you get a song that basically tells you the same thing 20 different ways in a row, and you come away feeling, well, what was that about? So in the session where I'm going to run, we're going to talk about how to write differently in verses, in bridges, in choruses, in midsections, so that it tells a proper story, it goes on a proper journey. Now, it doesn't actually have to tell a physical story of a series of things happening in events, but emotionally, in terms of the concepts it's trying to put across, it needs to say, what is this song about, but also, why should we care about it, what is the problem, and then, only then do we go on to the slogan and say, this is what it's about. It's about establishing concepts and context for what you're going to be talking about during the song. And we'll talk about that in more detail during the session. And the third, which I think is the most interesting and probably the most complex and subtle distinction between good lyrics and bad lyrics, is what I call detachment. It is how zoomed out you are, as it were, from the original subject matter that inspired you to create the song. A lot of songwriters, especially rock songwriters, get wrong is that they are too close to what they've written the song about. In terms of, it's either, if it's inspired by an event or a person or a thing, they will talk too much about the specifics of the event, the person or the thing. They won't talk enough about the emotions and the imagery and the ideas that creates. Because if you're trying to create a piece of art, in this case music, what differentiates art from just talking or communication is that art is all about emotion. if you have emotion in your communication, you're creating art. And it's about transferring what you feel to what your audience is feeling. So the more effective way to do that in lyric writing is to step back a bit about what's inspired you to write the song, and talk more about the inspiration itself, the feelings and images, because that's much more effective in producing the emotions that you want, any emotion you want, you know, sadness, happiness, anger, love, hate, whatever it is you're writing a song about, and to actually look at the way that language works, and to step away from what inspired you to create the song, and to talk more about what that thing has made you feel, and that will make the person who's listening to your song feel that. And you go through a similar process when writing music, and I'm going to be doing a workshop that I've delivered many times on that, and it's always gone down very well with the people I've spoken it to, people I've delivered it to, which is to discuss, you know, exactly how does that work, how do we make lyrics more emotionally effective, and that's what I'll be probably concentrating on at the masterclass.
All right, I mean, I've got one more question. You know, we work on becoming better musicians, we practice our instruments, so, you know, we are kind of rubbish at the beginning and we get good. Yeah. Can you actually progress from beginner lyric writing to someone more advanced? And because it sounds very vague to me as someone who, you know, English is not my first language to start with, right? So I'll be really interested what this workshop can give me, but can this skill be exercised as well as other skills like music skills?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, in every way. You know, as well as a producer, I mean, I'm a professional writer as well, and you only get better by practice with writing as you do with any other skill, any musical skill. Now, a reason a lot of musicians, a lot of songwriters, guitarists, pianists, whatever, really struggle with lyric writing is because it is a very, very different skill to the skills that they've learned when learning their instruments. It's because you're dealing with a very different kind of concept, and you're dealing with a different skill that has to be brought up from scratch. But as you said, it can be trained, it can be rehearsed, you can get the specialist knowledge, and you can get very good at it very quickly, even if you're not writing in a language that is your native language. There's a lot of very, very good songwriters out there that write in English but don't have English as their first language, and I'll be talking about one or two of my personal favourites and showing how they've worked during the presentation. But yeah, to answer your question, absolutely it's something you can practice, and I will be giving you and giving your students something that they can really take home and learn and practice on, and just to think a different way and get used to thinking in the ways that I'm going to describe. And, you know, it should be a fun experience to talk about and to practice, you know, writing lyrics about anything. And I'll give a couple of examples during the presentation of where I've created good song lyrics from very, very unpromising or just downright stupid things to talk about. I'm going to do a song about a metal detector that I wrote that ended up being a very good song that's now looks like it may be on a movie soundtrack. And I'm going to be playing you a song that I wrote about a barbecue that went wrong, but that sounds like something Guns N' Roses would write. But it's a process of working out, you know, what are the universal emotions and feelings and images that come from whatever the specifics are. You know, zooming out, looking at it in a more general way and thinking about it in a new way. And that's a skill that can be practiced and learned.
Okay, cool. I mean, what can I say? I think this is enough to reveal. I don't want to, you know, guys.
I think so. That's my problem is I talk too much.
Yeah.
So when you tell me to shut up, that's probably a sign that I probably should.
All right. So guys, I mean, what can I say? There is only 15 spots on during this event, so I mean, hurry up. You're gonna have to sign up as soon as you can, because there will be only, as I said, limited number of spaces, and the event takes place on the 15th of June, obviously 2012. So I'm inviting you to join us, and I think it'll be a fun event. I look forward to it. I really hope I'm gonna learn something for myself, because, you know, I really struggle to write lyrics, and I always let my singer to do it. So I look forward to seeing you there, and
yeah, and I look very much forward to meeting you there as well.
all right, so thank you, and I will see you then, right? Take care.